One thing that a lot of Funko fans have looked forward to every year is Funko Fundays, or the Box of Fun when it comes to online. An event that's held by Funko usually around the summer where you will get boxes that have limited piece count items, whether pops, sodas, or other items, while also having this big show with reveals for future items that are set to release. And it seems like with the direction of the company nowadays that it's always uncertain of whether Fun Days will end up actually happening, but this past weekend at New York Toy Fair, Top Pops himself broke the news that Funko will have Fun Days in 2026, with a scheduled date to happen during the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con, specifically on the Friday. So I'm DK, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for Funko Fun Days, or the Box of Fun, for 2026. And if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but nonetheless, let's kick off this video. For this video, I will be making a total of 8 predictions, where half of them will be Freddy Funko related items, considering that's usually 80% of the inventory anyways when it comes to Funko Fun Days. But I will throw in some predictions for the other mascots of Franny Funko and Proto the Dog, which I will have 2 predictions for each of those characters, which we might as well kick off with my very first prediction, which will be Proto the Dog related, as I think there will be a pop of Proto the Dog as Huckleberry Hound. Now, if you've been a longtime fan of Funko, you know that the company has done a lot of stuff relating to Huckleberry Hound, especially when former CEO Brian Mariotti was in charge, and that was one of his favorite licensors. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially with a character like Proto the Dog, where of course, when you notice with Freddy Funko, it portrays male characters, Franny will be portraying female characters, but when it comes to the animals, of course, Proto the Dog makes sense to portray those characters. And in the past, we've had many Proto the Dog pops, but not a lot of IP licensor ones, such as the Proto the Dog as Scooby-Doo that we had in the NFT set. And so I think that it definitely makes sense that with a big license that they already have, like Hanna-Barbera, mixed with one of their mascots, that it would make sense that we do have Proto the Dog as essentially another dog-related character. My second prediction for Funko Fun Days will be the second Proto the Dog on this list, Proto the Dog as Crypto from Superman. Now, of course, last year we did have the release of the James Gunn Superman movie, with the upcoming release of the Supergirl movie happening this year, where Crypto the Dog, I believe, is featured in both of those films. And like I briefly already mentioned when talking about Proto the Dog as Huckleberry Hound, you can't really do too many characters with Proto unless it's really an animal, mostly a dog. So it definitely makes sense that if you're going to make Proto the Dog as some sort of IP related character, that Crypto definitely makes sense with the recent hype involving these DC comic movies like Superman and the upcoming Supergirl as of the recording of this video. And hopefully in a perfect world, this pop would also be flocked, because it definitely makes sense for an animal to have that specification. Now, with my third prediction, I'm going to move on to the Franny Funko related items, where I'm actually going to go down the route of a Funko soda figure, and it's going to be of Neko Mech Franny. Now, of course, we had the Neko Mech Franny pop before in the Funimation and Cosplay Series 2 set for the Pop Digital lineup. And last year at Funko Fun Days, we actually had a set of Funko sodas released for Funko Fun Days in the Box of Fun relating to Series 1 of the Funimation and Cosplay set, like the Kaiju Proto. And so I think this year a trend could happen where they take the characters from Series 2 of Funimation and Cosplay that happened last year and apply it to the 2026 Funko Fun Days and Box of Fun set of figures. And in case you're wondering, there definitely is going to be one more Funko soda when it comes to this list, but let's move on to the next Funko Pop prediction. Going on to the fourth prediction I have is my second Franny Funko related prediction, which is Franny Funko as Little Pale Girl. Now, of course, one of the biggest licensors when it comes to Funko nowadays is horror, more specifically the Terrifier set of pops. And so I think if you're going to execute Franny Funko as some sort of IP that's super popular right now, you might as well do it with the Terrifier lineup, where we did have the Little Pale Girl pop that I believe was a specialty series exclusive that had already released. So you basically take that molding, add Franny Funko, and make it a little bit of a different head mold for the most part. And this would actually go along with the next prediction and my first Freddy Funko prediction that I have for this this video, which I will mention after this special message. Shoutout goes to the unacceptable viewer. And the reason that they ended up getting a shoutout is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shoutout, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and short that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. Moving on to prediction number 5, and the first Freddy Funko related prediction is Freddy Funko as Art the Clown. I'm sure you guys probably kind of figured that this is what I was alluding to in the last prediction. Terrifier being one of the biggest licensors for Funko right now, and Terrifier being one of the most popular movies out there, to where we've seen a lot of Art the Clown pops, that I feel like it's only a matter of time before they actually execute a Freddy Funko as Art the Clown. Now, a point that could be brought up is, why not wait for this type of prediction for a Fright Night box of fun when it comes to New York Comic Con? However, that isn't entirely realistic, since the last time we did have the Fright Night boxes was, I believe, in 2023. So unless the new CEO has decided to bring that back for New York Comic Con, I feel the safe bet would be to have this pop release for San Diego Comic Con weekend during the regular Funko Fundays. And I wouldn't be surprised for this type of pop, kind of like the recent pop with its Chase, where we have the online version that's just the regular Freddy Funko as Art the Clown, but then there's like a blacklight variant that's limited to 500 pieces that you can only get at the event. And I feel like this is the most confident I am when it comes to my predictions, that I feel like this would be the most likely one to come true. Prediction number 6 I have is a Yokai Crown Freddy Funko Soda. So as you already heard me mention throughout this list, I mentioned about the Funimation and cosplay pops being turned into sodas for Funko Fundays. I brought it up with the Neko Mech Franny as a soda, so I wouldn't be surprised that if that were to actually be the case, that we get some of the other characters for this set as well. And really, it could be any of the different Freddy Funkos that they done during this set. Like there was the Ronin Freddy, but I remember really liking the molding of the Funko Pop for Yokai Crown Freddy, to where it would look really nice in the Funko Soda form as well. And once again, when it comes to like versions that would go online and then versions that would be at the in-person event, of course you can do the regular one for online, but I could only imagine that it would look really nice if you can get an in-person event version that has the glow in the dark specifications. My 7th and second last prediction of this video is Freddy Funko as Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, for last year's Funko Fundays, there was the Freddy Funko as Leonardo pop for this set, so I feel like this might be something that could easily be done for the next couple of years to complete the rest of the Turtles by using Freddy Funko. I know way back in the day, the early days of Funko, there was a complete set of Freddy Funko as the Ninja Turtles, but now it looks like they're giving us more modernized versions of them, and I think that's what we're getting here, to where it could realistically be any of the other Turtles, but I'm just going with Michelangelo because that's my favorite Ninja Turtle. So it could be Michelangelo, it could be Raphael, or it could be Donatello. So if anything, my prediction would be another Freddy Funko as a Ninja Turtle. And my 8th and final prediction for this video is going to be a Freddy Funko pop of Freddy Funko as Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. Of course, if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of Toy Story. It just so happens I'm actually wearing a Pizza Planet shirt unintentionally for this video. And so this year in 2026 is also going to be the release of Toy Story 5 in theaters, which of course, the moment that the link goes up for getting tickets, I will be the first one to get my last row seats. And although there have been a couple of Freddy Funko as Buzz Lightyear related pops in the past, this is kind of what I mentioned about the TMNT one in my last prediction, on how there used to be some ones way back in the day, and now we're getting more modernized versions, and I could see that being the same thing here, and especially using one of the more recent recent moldings, which I might have already used in the photo. But regardless, I think it would be really awesome to see a Freddy Funko as some sort of Toy Story character, since we haven't had that in a very long time, and I'd be okay with really any of the characters if it's like Freddy Funko as Woody. And although this would be a great prediction to come true, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen, because although I have based my predictions off of trends, there are some figures that they release for the Box of Funs every year that don't really follow trends all that much. Anyways, let me know your predictions down below, but thanks for watching today's video and hope to see you guys for another video next week.